All right, friends, welcome at it as we get rolling here on another edition of the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. We want to welcome you in. We are live on the campus of New Waverly High School in this beautiful, beautiful facility here that is getting more and more use as time goes on and the construction continues. But this place is just turning out to be an exciting, awesome facility for these young athletes. Joined as always by Ed Watto and Coach Schaub. I'm Rob Pipp. Want to welcome you in. And do us a favor. Let us know that you're out there. Many folks are joining us across social media feeds. As we get started with Coach Schaub, we consider this as our Cabins and More of Texas pregame show with Coach Schaub. Coach, good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you, Rob.
Yes, sir. Ed, good to see you as well.
Good to see you, Rob.
Good to see
you, Coach.
Coach, I kind of wanted to start, Orangefield, a tough team. It's kind of like deja vu from last year, but again, two very tough schools to start this season. You play an Orangefield team, and things stretched out a little bit, but there in the fourth quarter kind of tightened up. Can you just kind of give us your initial thoughts and overview of that one?
Yeah, we had some uncharacteristic things happen. Some of our players made mistakes and normally don't, but it is what it is. They got it. It's out of the way. Hopefully we won't see it again, but had a couple of turnovers. Right there's Coach. Fine. Thank you. Had a couple of turnovers. Defense backs were against the wall. We had a turnover in the red zone. They scored. So it is what it is. Before the season, I decided to I wanted all of our non-district games to be bigger schools. So they're all 3A Division I. I think we've been tested well, and I think obviously tomorrow and next Friday will be a good test.
I wanted to ask one more question, then I'll let Ed hop in on this. But you mentioned something about 3A Division I because we're obviously in 3A Division II. From your perspective, what have you seen over the years when you look at a Division I and a Division II? What are some of the differences?
Oh, I think speed. Definite speed. You got more kids to choose from. Size is about the same, but the big thing I've noticed difference is speed, and they've got more fast kids. So.
As you reflect on
a chance, and we talked to them after the game. We, offense played a good one half, defense played a good second half. It's just nothing. We got to put that together. But no, I think when a team can stick in there and the back's against the wall, even if they know time's winding down, you might not win this game. The fact that they come and play and give effort, that's huge.
Do you think, Coach, that situational awareness is kind of where you want it to be in terms of hey, it's third down, it's third and long for the opponent, or it's 3rd and 2 for us, or this is. Do you feel like this group of kids is there yet, or are we close?
Yeah, I think we are. The motto I'm always telling the kids, no matter what, just play. Like you got to play. Mm-hmm. We talk about life. Bad things happen. You just got to go. You got to go to work. Got to play. Next play mentality. You can't fixate on something. You can't dwell on it. Because you can't have a clear head moving forward in the baseball is really bad about that. You've got to let short-term memory. Same thing in football.
Yeah, you got to let it go.
We got to let it go. Bad things happen. Like I tell the kids for the game, great things are going to happen on both sidelines. It is what it is. So if it happens on their sideline, get momentum back on ours.
Coach, 10 years here now, and it's always. The first few games is always fun in the season, just trying to figure out adjustments and those kind of things. You've briefly touched on a couple of these, but what are maybe some of the things that you're seeing so far through these two games that these young men are being successful at?
Well, the running back situation, that's the first one. Hunter Henry is our main running back, but we've got Dylan Thomas, we've got Trey Davis the second, Trey Davis the third, Mason Bueller, we got we've got a stable of them. And now, since our key guys are getting tired, their young guys are stepping in and doing really, really well. So, no, I think the depth, we're trying to move kids around to see who's got what. And, I approach non-district a little different than most. You want to win every game. But, man, I want to get ready for our first Warren game. I want to knock out all the kinks, get the fumbles, the turnovers, all that junk out of the way so we can be hitting on all cylinders. So, yes, we wanted to win the last 2 weeks. We didn't. Tomorrow, the game plan is to win. And but ultimately, I'm ready for district play. So we've got 2 more chances against 2 bigger schools to fine-tune those things.
Speaking of which, we'll look ahead to Crockett out of 9-3A, the Division I program in 3A. In that Region 3, in the same league as Teague as well. Whenever you're playing teams that are from the same district, is there any advantages, anything that you see, or is it just football as usual?
It's pretty much football as usual. I mean, I've got some of the teams that are calling me up and say, hey, make sure you beat them up pretty good before they get to us. But, no, other than that, it's really business as usual.
It's didn't have a chance to play Crockett last year, I believe, and it's been a little bit. So this year, heading just up the road, from the Huntsville area, it's about an hour or so north as we travel north. Give us some insight as far as some things that maybe New Waverly is kind of working on this week. Of course, without giving the game plan away, but what are some areas of concern that you guys are really attacking this week?
Well, their quarterback's very, very talented. He gets out of the pocket, he's going to cause some damage. You let him sit in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart at times. Receivers are big and athletic, but I think our mentality, I'm leaning our mentality, our game plan offensively is to honestly just hit them as hard as we can and wake them up, and either they're going to respond or not. We're hoping they don't. But no, our game plan is to just – we don't quite have the speed to run away from people. Like, we hit them as hard as we can. And, the last several years at Newton, we can't get outside and beat them, but we can run up in the middle. So we're doing a lot of short pass things, and our quarterback, Cade Garrett's, I would say 100% now with the ankle. So we got receivers catching the ball. We've got about 6 backs that have a chance to run the ball.
One thing, I wanted to say one thing real quick, Ed. When you mentioned the backs, at NDSU, it was really good, short time, 8 months, but it was neat calling those games up there for North Dakota State because they had a formation they call the Delta formation. It's where you put 3 backs in there. I don't know if I've seen that ran much at the high school level.
During that, it looked like you had changed, had a quarterback change during that. Brought Devin in with that.
Yeah, Devin's a heavier kid, and Devin is Devin's a run between the tackles type of guy. So is Cade, but Devin is body's built more for that short yardage thing. So we put Devin in for that, and Cade comes off, and every now and then we might move him out to receiver. But yeah, that's kind of Hippo is the Devin's package.
So you touched on it earlier, and I want to just kind of ask a follow-up. You talked about that mental game, and, a mistake happens, and then, you have to be resilient from it, right? The elite players, they cast those things aside, and they start to think positive thoughts, think, you know what, I screwed up that play, but I'm going to make something great happen. But so as a coach, how do you train that for that resiliency? Is it just talking about it with the kids, or is it something else that you do?
No, I think when something happens, we'll get to it. When a kid messes up, no one's more frustrated than the kid. So I know browbeating a kid, we did it back in the day, and I just don't. I want to get on a kid and all right, build a bridge, move on, let's go next play. That's what's nice about football. Every 13 seconds another play's happening. So you really can't have long-term memory. But no, I think that's one thing. We just tell the kids, it is what it is, man. Bad things are going to happen. So what? Next play.
I like that. Well, Coach, I always like to ask these kind of questions too. They're kind of off the wall a little bit here and there. But one of them, of course, as we talked over the last couple of weeks, this is your 10th year, 8th at head coach. Is there anything this year that maybe you said, man, that's something new, or that's something kind of exciting? I would imagine every year that there's something that you have a lot of consistency, but there's got to be 1 or 2 things every year that maybe came at you unexpected, or something that excited you a little bit more than last year. Have you experienced any of that this year?
Well, yeah, I would say our numbers for sure. Every year we have about 15 kids per grade. This year, 9th and 10th grades are over 25, so that was a huge shock. As coaches, we have equipment for the 2-a-days, and I plan for a certain number. So this year, when we had about 25 more kids come in, I was like, dang, we don't have helmets. So we scrounged and found stuff. So I wasn't prepared for that. And, which I think it's a great problem. We had to scrounge. But next year I will be prepared. The numbers, I didn't quite think they would be so high. But, like I said last week, football's a game of numbers. So
when those numbers come in, I mean, what are we looking at about how far before the school season starts? Because I'm just picturing you in your living room, watching some football, watching something. And all that, maybe some old replays, right? Because the season hasn't started yet. So you're watching some Baylor replays, all right? You're sitting there, you're chilling, you're hanging out. You get that phone call. Hey, guess what, Coach? We got 80 coming in. When does that happen, and what goes through your mind when that came through? And where were you at?
Oh, the day they started coming in, we had I think seniors one day, sophomores, juniors, and freshmen, and then our helmet rack got smaller and smaller, and the freshmen hadn't even gotten there. And I was like, gosh almighty, what are we going to do? So we borrowed, and basically we didn't steal, for those of y'all listening. But no, we did what we had to do and just scrounged it up and fitted a team out. Awesome.
You had talked earlier about depth at different positions, particularly at the running back position. One of the things that I've seen is really, Hunter Henry being the feature back, the 1,000-yard rusher. But, boy, Dylan Thomas has come on strong. And it just looks like you've got opportunities for 3 or 4 guys to do something really special this year. It's kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Dylan Thomas, he's the Energizer Bunny. He never gets tired. He can go both ways. I have to pull him off the field sometime to wrangle him in to, get him focused and ready for the next series. But he's a big asset on defense. This year we're using more on offense. But no, it's nice to have that. He's always got a smile. Dylan. Always got a smile.
He's dancing a lot of the time. We can see him from the press box.
That's a testament to his parents. He's a happy kid, and you can tell a lot when a kid's always really happy. So Dylan's happy. Like I said, we wrangle him in sometimes when he needs to be wrangled in. But no, he's a pleasure to have out there, and he'll mess up, and he's the first one, my bad, coach. And I'm not always like, it's okay, Dylan. Sometimes I'm come on, babe, get it right.
And so then with kind of, backs 3 and 4, you've got so much depth there. Like, really have loved how that has been worked into the program to try and get more guys with more touches. And because when it's like when they feature one back in the NFL, before you know it, they're all banged up.
Yeah, another thing, we normally have about 25 on varsity, maybe 25 on JV, and some other, maybe 60 total kids. But this year we've got nearly 60 JV kids. So what's really been nice, we split into 2 teams. We had 2 teams last year, last minute, because same thing. I didn't expect as many kids to show up. Every year you got the same number, but no, when we split up and had an additional team, all of our kids that aren't playing on Friday, they're getting a ton of reps. So the next guy up mentality, we've got kids right now in our JV Maroon that if something happens, God forbid tonight, those guys will be able to play starting next week. So it's a good farming system. For a 3A school, you don't really get that luxury to have 2 JV teams. So we won't see benefits this year, but we will the years to come.
Well, it's great. Well, Coach Schaub doing a fantastic job, and looking forward to this game coming up versus Crockett. Going to be a good one here on the road. First road game of the season. As you said, 2 more before we get underway in district play. So 2 more litmus tests, if you could call it that, and see. This is our pregame with Coach Dean Schaub. As always, appreciate your time, Coach. I do have one final question, though, another one of these off the walls. A Saturday for Coach Schaub. What's going on with Coach Schaub on Saturday? I'm assuming there's to be some Baylor football out there.
Yeah, there's some Baylor football going for sure. Usually I do my stuff here, watch film with the kids, meet with the coaches, and drive as fast as we can to Waco. So.
Any NFL teams on the radar? You a Cowboys guy, Texans
guy? I'm a Cowboys guy, but gosh dang it, we got to get that right for 30 years. Come on, Cowboys.
It's been a long time.
I swear.
27 years I've been saying this is our year, and you know what? This is the first year in fantasy football I don't have one single thing to do with the Cowboys on my team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, Coach.
Yeah.
So, well, again, always appreciate your time and what you do for these young men.
Thanks,
Coach Dean Schaub here on our pregame with Coach Schaub, brought to you by Cabins and More of Texas. This is the Coaches Show. We enjoy having the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show right here from this beautiful field house, and we have it every Thursday at 3:45. If some of you are off work, you're more than welcome to come join us and hang out with us, and we always have a chance to catch up with Coach and some of the students as well. We'll take a brief break. When we come back, we'll have more discussion. We'll have some of those students. Stay with us. More to come as we continue on. This is the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. Stay with us. All right, back at it here on the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. Boy, look at that magic, Ed. You know, we go to a break and then we come back and there's a football, there's a helmet sitting here. How awesome is that?
It's my interior decorating skills.
Martha Stewart, watch out. We got Ed Watto. You're like, don't compare me, man.
Yeah.
Well, Ed, I wanted to give you, I know that we do what we do for the kids here and for the families in New Waverly, but I wanted to give you and Matt Register just a huge round of applause and a big support from me and from the community. We were facing some adversity with losing a family member, and we were out of town down in San Antonio, and so there's no way that I could call that game. But, man, I want to just say thank you, brother. You and Matt just knocked it out of the park. In fact, I was joking with you when you walked in. I said, I may be done, Ed. This was so we appreciate you, man.
I think I found my replacement, Matt Register. He was absolutely awesome. And, he and I both went to West Point. Funny thing about Matt Register is, we live on the same street. We really didn't know each other at West Point. But you just think about, I'm sure this happens with other places, but with West Pointers, we barely knew each other, but yet we knew everything about one another, having been through very hard circumstances in the military. Me had gone to combat zone in Bosnia. He is a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, I wanted to mention something, and again, I know keeping it about the students and the community, that's what we do this for, but I just wanted to talk with you briefly before we have some of the student athletes joining us. We'll have Zane Sykes, and I believe we have Zane coming on, and then Trey Davis III here in just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
For you, of course, your son plays on the team, but you're very passionate about the sport of football, but also specifically this program at New Waverly. Not only having a son out there playing, but just how you connect to this community. I just wanted to give you a moment to highlight how important that is for you to be passionate and why you're so passionate about the program, aside, of course, that your son plays here. You just have this great desire and passion for this community and this program, Ed.
Yeah, well, my son is like the connecting point. But the other thing that goes on in my head is just like these young boys, right? There's an opportunity with them with football to be more connected. And to me, that's what is great about football. It's an aspect of connection. So let me give you a quick example. And we're going to tie it into, because we're all local here, we'll tie it into
come on, man.
To Casey Keeler. It's all going to come back to Coach Keeler.
It's going back to Bearcat country.
So on Facebook, which, you look at my Facebook profile, it says Facebook is stupid. Because I really think that, right? It
is that really what
stupid. It's what it really says. Facebook is stupid, but it still makes a connection. So last week I got a message from somebody I did not know in Alabama. They sent me a program from 1968 in Pennsylvania, and my dad was the coach of that football team.
Wow.
And he was thanking me for what my dad had done for him through football. And my dad was a super tough guy. I mean, he was Army veteran, a wrestling coach, a football coach, just a tough grit and mud, and you got to do the right thing and you got to be tough about it. That was him. But he raised, as a coach, through coaching, had an impact on a lot of young men's lives. So this guy reaches out to me. I look at that program and I'm like, holy cow, I know all these guys. I didn't know that they played on this team. I look across and there's a name, Molosky. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't know that name, but I know that name. I reach out to a coach at Allentown Central Catholic that I know in Allentown, Pennsylvania. His name is Rob Molosky. And Rob Molosky and I have a mutual friend in Casey Keeler because Rob played for Casey Keeler at Rowan.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
There's always a connection there.
And so this is, to me, football is a way for people to connect. But I believe also, I want these guys to be challenged, and I want them to go out and do great things and to learn from this, like true grit and tenacity and overcoming adversity, and when the chips are down. And that's why these first 4 games are really great, because we're taking on bigger teams, faster teams, and it's going to get us ready for, Anderson, Warren, Woodville, Newton, Trinity, all of those teams. So we got to go but the other thing is we got to achieve the standard of, the team with the most points on the scoreboard at the end of the game is declared the winner. So we got to score points.
Awesome. Well, we got two athletes. We'll bring one on here in just a moment. Both of them outstanding young men here in the New Waverly community. I've enjoyed getting to call their games now for the second year. And, Ed, I know you've had a blast as well highlighting these young guys. But we'll take a break. When we come back, Zane Sykes is going to be joined. They were both looking like, oh, man, is it going to be me? Who's it going to be? Zane Sykes. And I got to tell you, the last name Sykes, one of my favorite names in basketball. I used to know a young man with the last name of Sykes, and I would always say, there he is, psyching everybody out. So we're going to have Zane Sykes coming on here in just a few moments. So stay with us. More to come as we continue on. This is the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show here on Thursdays. We get ready for Crockett coming up tomorrow night. You can catch that game right here on the SHN Sports Broadcast Network. Our coverage also brought to you in part by Ed Watto. So appreciate you, Ed, and all that you do, and appreciate all your support, man. So with Rally Point Advisors. So Ed is a great man, not only here calling the games, but also helping to support what we do to be able to bring you this coverage. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Zane Sykes joins us on the other side. It's your show. This is the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. All right, friends, back as we continue on the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show, 4:12 in the afternoon here in beautiful New Waverly, Texas. And check this out. First time on the show, none other than our friend, Mr. Zane Sykes. Zane, what's going on, man?
Nothing.
It's good to have you. I was joking around, but I like the last name, man. Do you ever feel you're a receiver, senior on this team? We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, but you ever feel like you're out there kind of psyching people out sometimes?
Sometimes. Is
that word still used? Do people ever say
Psych?
that? Yeah, like psyching them out?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm showing my age, Ed.
It is, yeah. So, with Zane Sykes and all of his peers, I tell you what, they will make you feel really old because there's a whole bunch of words that these kids use that is not part of your and my lexicon.
Well, Zane, one thing that I like about you, man, you're just a great young man, like all of your teammates, and you're just an outstanding young man, very respectful young man, multi-sport athlete also. We'll talk football in a minute, but let's just get to know you a little bit. Let us know a little bit about just your connection here to New Waverly. Did you grow up here? Kind of tell us the Zane Sykes story in a nutshell, man.
So I grew up here in Waverly, and then I played football in middle school. And then in high school, I played JV. And then my sophomore year, I started playing varsity, and now I'm here.
What has been, some of, I guess, let's start this way. I'm usually pretty positive, but I want to challenge you guys. I want to do a little critical thinking, all right? I'm 40 years old taking my first college class. First time ever. I don't encourage that for you. Take it as soon as you get out, all right? But maybe a little critical thinking. So think about some of the challenges that you faced as you have grown in this program. What are some of the things that really maybe were tough at first that are getting easier now that have really helped you grow and develop as a player, Zane?
Probably not getting no playing time my sophomore year. I didn't really play that much, but every day I just came to practice more and more and more. And then whenever my junior year came, I guess it was just my time to shine then. I had to just wait.
That's a good thing that you mentioned that, because maybe that can be a message for a younger player that's out there saying, I'm out here trying, but I'm not getting that playing time yet. What was going through your mind whenever, you weren't getting those opportunities a couple of years ago?
Well, I just waited, and then I always knew my time would come, and that was pretty much it.
Talk a little bit about, just what it's like to be on that receiving core, and especially this year with a lot more players on the team now. Has that created more competition, or has it just created a lot more benefit? How do you see it as a student athlete on the team?
Well, I see it as we just out here making each other better every day, day in and day out.
Yes. So, Zane, one of the things that was really exciting for me in the last game, and I'm sure you felt it too, but I really want to sort of ask you about this whole entire last game. Well, let me take a step back. The first game of the season, it just seemed like we reached a point. You guys on the field, and it seemed like the air was sucked out of us a little bit. And I don't mean we were out of gas or exhausted. It didn't seem like there was that excitement or that belief. Whereas in this last game, you guys it seemed like till the last second that you guys believed every bit that you were going to win that game. Can you tell me a little bit about that? What you were thinking, how you managed to keep yourself engaged with that sort of tenacity?
Well, I guess you just got to believe. I mean, I don't know.
Just down to the wire, you got to keep on believing. Tell me a little bit about, when we're being here at New Waverly, when you got that opportunity last year, what that means to you, like taking the field on a Friday night here.
Oh, I was so grateful. I mean, there's nothing better than coming out on Friday, seeing those lights, and going out there, giving everything you got. And, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Zane Sykes is here with us, receiver, senior on this team. Do you feel like now as a senior that you've kind of stepped into a leadership role? And if so, who are some of the younger guys that are looking up to you, Zane?
Probably like
a Trey Davis III maybe looking up to you? Yeah.
Trey Davis III. Probably Nathan Dippery. I like to guide him, show him the way. Yeah.
So as we look ahead to Crockett, you guys are 0-2, 2 more non-district games, but you're learning a lot through these first 2 games. What's been going through your mind? Maybe walk us through some of the preparation getting ready for Crockett tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, as long as we're running the ball good, throwing the ball, spreading out the pass and the run, I don't really see like they can mess with us. I know they got some fast receivers, so just play a little deep on them, and then we should be good.
So with what they've got, they've got a quarterback that's seems very, very patient and well protected by his offensive line. Does that mean that there's a greater challenge on the secondary for that?
Yeah, especially because like they are super fast, especially in track. They all run pretty good, so as long as we're in our coverage and we got them locked down, then we should be doing good.
Well, great. Well, we're looking forward to this matchup. Ed, did you have any more football-related questions for Zane? I wanted to switch gears here in a moment.
Yeah, I do have my trivia questions.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
so
let's throw them out. Let's switch gears. We're going to do a little Ed.
Okay.
This is the famous Ed Watto trivia. It airs every night.
Okay, this is a 2-part question. The first part is a either or. Ducks or spirals?
Spirals.
Spirals. Okay. The second part is true false. True or false? Are ducks acceptable?
True.
Oh my goodness! This guy.
All right.
Got 100% today.
There you go, man. We're gonna keep it fun, Zane. Let us know something, man. We always like to get to know the players outside of the sport of football. Senior, what's on your mind, man? What are you looking forward to as you wind down your high school career? What are your goals, your aspirations? Where do you want to go to school? What's going through your mind, man?
Well, I really want to make it go farther in the football playoffs, and then go on to basketball season, do my thing basketball season, and then when I graduate, probably go to trade school or find a college, find something to do after high school.
We're talking, Friday you play football. What does a Saturday look like for Zane Sykes? What are you doing on Saturday?
Saturday, I probably come watch film early in the morning, eat something, and then go back home, play the game a little bit, or go with my girlfriend.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You gotta give shout out to the lady. Understandable. Play the game. Are you playing the new Madden? The new
college football.
Yeah, are you playing that?
Yeah, Dylan, Dorian always play it every day.
Who's better? Who's the best at it?
Me,
Okay.
for sure.
One day we'll have to have you guys versus Ed and I, and watch how horrible that we will be at playing a game like that, man. I used to dominate. This dates me, Zane. I used to dominate on Madden 93 on the Sega Genesis. Back then, there was only 3 buttons, Zane. There wasn't all this left, right, and all this other stuff. There was 3 buttons. It was A, B, and C. There was a directional pad and a start button, and that was it, man. And once you learned that you could go off sides just a little bit, you can take your lineman. You know, if you're looking at it like old school and you see the A gap, you could just kind of come in just a little bit. And they would never call – and every single play, boom, I'd sack the quarterback. I played the Patriots. It's Cowboys versus Patriots. Patriots were a horrible team in the 90s, by the way. Bottom of the barrel. Just garbage. And they were. Go, if you don't believe, go look at the truth. Just being true, man. And so I would always play the Cowboys, my team, versus the Patriots, and I would beat them on the Sega Genesis. The highest score I ever got was like 150 to nothing, man. So I can't play the new games. There's too many buttons, dude.
I tell you, I got to interject here. You guys are both way out of your league.
Were you talking
because
Atari?
I am a master at Pong and Tetris and Galaga, and I will crush you at that.
I thought Ed was going to tell us, like, at badminton or croquet. You know, I'm just kidding, man. Well, Zane, enjoyed getting to know you a little bit, man, and looking forward to this game. Camera's right there on you. Who do you want to send a shout-out to this afternoon, young man?
Shout out to my mama. I love my mother. She does everything she can for me. And shout out to my dad for believing in me. And, yeah.
All right, one final very important question. You're browsing the internet 10 years from now. YouTube's still be around. I don't know about some of the other stuff, but YouTube's still going to be around. You type in your name, and then all of a sudden you see yourself right now. What message do you have to yourself 10 years from now?
I hope we're successful. Hope we're getting money.
Hey, and I hope that we still know you, you know.
That's right.
You know, you'll be doing good, man. So, well, Zane Sykes, appreciate you, young man. I'm so proud of you guys. I know the coaching staff is as well, and we can't wait to this Crockett game. Going to be a fun one, man. What is kind of your I did want to ask one final thing. Sorry, my mind's kind of going. What is your focus of, like, what do you got to do? New Waverly will beat Crockett if what? Finish that sentence.
If they throw me the ball. Throw me the ball, we'll win.
All right, there he is, man. A man that knows what's up.
Simple man.
Zane Sykes with us. We appreciate you, young man. Congratulations.
Yes,
so we'll step aside and take a break. Trey Davis, TD3, joining us here in just a few moments. Stay with us. More to come as we continue on. This is the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. We are live from New Waverly High School. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. All right, friends, we're back at it as we continue on here. Another edition of the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show live on SHN. You know what, man? I'm gonna start something here. I didn't get Zane Sykes to do this, but I think TD3 will like this. Ed, can you give us a New Waverly Bulldog?
You want me to?
Yeah, I want Ed to. What do you think, TD? Should we get Ed to do it?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty
Okay,
nice.
Ed, what do you got? Oh, wait, hold on. We got to get this on video. All right,
Oh, my
Ed, you ready?
goodness. I got nothing.
All right, here it is. Ready?
Ooh.
Oh, now hold on. Now TD3. Let me hear yours.
Ooh.
All right.
See, his is better. That's because he's a Bulldog. Yeah.
Do you remember there was a game that I had recorded that, and when they made big plays, it was the Bulldogs in the
yes.
background. We're going to bring that back on the broadcast, by the way. So coming up tomorrow, TD3's Trey Davis the third. That stands for 3 touchdowns, by the way. So that's what we're going to see on Friday. So we're going to have 3 of those coming up on Friday. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here he is, Trey Davis the third, joining us. Good to see you, young man.
Good to see y'all.
Having fun, man. Were you hoping that you would be the first interview tonight, or were you happy that it was Zane Sykes?
I was guessing, I would want to go first, but, Zane is senior, so I understand.
How would you rate Zane's performance, like 1 to 10? 1 just being like, come on, man. 10 being, all right, then.
It was like a 6. I could do better.
All right. All right, man. Well, hey, it's always fun to catch up with you guys, and we wanted to do this last year, Trey. We didn't get a chance to, but we're doing it this year, and it's so much fun because we get to learn a little bit more about you. So before we talk the game of football, just let us know a little bit about TD3, man. Is that you? Can I call you TD3?
Yeah, I like that name.
Because your brother's your twin. He's TD2.
The coaches call me third because I'm the third one.
Okay. Well, let us know. Just kind of, did you grow up here in New Waverly? Let us know a little bit about you, man.
Yeah, I grew up in New Waverly all my life, and I got injured playing basketball my 8th grade year. And
Okay.
I sat out for like a whole year, and I started my sophomore year on football.
Was football always kind of in the window, or were you more of like a basketball guy?
Oh yeah, I loved football all my life. I went outside and practiced with my dad, and we did a bunch of like routes. I originally wanted to be like a receiver, but like it's kind of switched to weak safety. So yeah.
Well, now you're running out there, man. And
Yeah, now I'm running back on offense.
I like what Coach Schaub says, a stable. And this year, you guys have a lot of backs back there. I wanted to bring up something. We didn't talk to this with Zane because he's on the receiving side, but you're out there running, man. Something that I saw at NDSU, and I've seen it for the first time at the high school level. We called it the Delta formation up there. Y'all call it the Hippo here. How cool of a play is that when you've got 3 backs out there? I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and maybe how that throws off the defense because they don't know where it's going sometimes.
Well, I don't really know because I'm not really like the running back.
Okay.
That's my twin that's the running back.
Okay.
Go out there. But I'm a defense, but like from the sideline saying I think it's kind of crazy.
But yeah, have you ever switched in? I know your brothers played out there, but have you ran before?
I haven't ran.
I'm getting TD2 and TD3 mixed
with
up
twins, it happened a lot.
All right. Well, Ed, dig in because I've already embarrassed
Yeah,
myself.
absolutely. So, for you, TD2, I like that too. For you, what's the level of excitement, or as we go into playing Crockett, it's in some ways kind of a hometown rivalry because it's not that far away, but we're playing Crockett, big stadium. What's your mental state at this point? Your level of excitement for this game?
Kind of ready, coming off 2 losses. I want to win so bad. So, I'm going to bring all I got to get the win.
Absolutely. So as you're thinking about a win, like what do you think about like in your mind as far as like goals for yourself or, just things that you want to do to positively impact your team?
I want to make big plays, I also want to make the little, do the little things right so I can get everything like under control and know what I'm doing. So
I want to give you a chance real quick, TD3, to highlight some of your teammates, man. Talk a little bit about those guys and just, what you're doing to help them and what they're doing to help you.
I want to talk about Kenton Reese. I like Kenton. He's starting on offense. He's like my best friend. So, yeah, he's pretty good. And Hunter Henry, he hurt right now, but he a dog. I really look up to him. Him and Mason Bueller. Mason Bueller's a dog, too. So I look up to him.
Well, your brother too, man. What are some things that your brothers taught you? How do you guys talk football off the field? Are y'all helping each other? Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we always keeping each other up on the field. Like after maybe like we missed a tackle or something, we pick each other up and keep it going. We talk outside of school about it too.
So for the rest of the world, most of the world is not a twin, right? So what's that like for you when you guys are both in the same defense or on the same offensive team, able to do that with your twin brother and, attack? What's that feeling like?
I feel pretty good because it's kind of a connection. So, when he do bad, I kind of feel it. I was like, dang, wish I could have been there. Like when he do good, I'm kind of excited when he do good. So,
Yeah, that's a great thing.
We're looking ahead to the Crockett game, and I'll kind of, ask you the same thing I asked Zane, but, on the defensive side, you're out there, you're making the little plays, which end up being the big thing a lot of times on the defensive side as well. For New Waverly to win this game on Friday, New Waverly has to do what?
Stop the quarterback. He the best one on their team at least, in my opinion. He's kind of fast. He can get out. He's pretty elusive, so you got to stop the quarterback.
One of the things that we kind of picked up on film when we were watching him was, he's a really patient guy. So he'll kind of sit back there and wait to see, wait to see somewhere that he can attack on the field. How is that going to change your game plan? Will it, or is it just, we're going out and we're going to do our job?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go out and do my job. Cause Coach Miller, he creates a good game plan for us, and if we just stick to that, I think we can win.
I wanted to ask you too. There's so many guys out there this year to kind of choose from on the battlefield because a lot of new students have came in. How does that benefit you? A lot of you guys had to play both ways. I know primarily you're on the defensive side. Still free safety, right? Are you still playing kind of in the free safety?
Yeah, I'm a weak safety right now.
So they've switched you to weak safeties where
Yes,
you're
sir.
at. So talk a little bit about just, the new players and does that really help bolster some competition, or does that help you guys?
Yeah, it brings some good competition. Now that I know that somebody's behind me trying to take my spot potentially, so it pushes me to do better.
Ed, any other questions for
I've got
TD3?
my trivia questions
All
for
right, you ready for
TD3.
this?
Are you ready for this?
Yes,
This
sir.
is kind of a lightning round. This is, because scholarship and athletics are very important, so we're going to get into that. We are going to do these first two Jeopardy style. So I'm going to give you the answer, and you are going to form it into – you're going to give the question. So we'll got two of them, so if we mess one up – okay. Answer, linebackers.
Like the name?
Linebackers, the position, linebackers. That's the answer.
What is Sam, Will, and Mike?
That
is acceptable. We would also have accepted what the world needs more of.
That's pretty good.
Answer, pick six.
What is me?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Was that the answer?
That we'll take that. That is acceptable.
Oh, man. I remember when I was calling Bearcat games at Sam Houston, my analyst, Brian Adams, anytime there was a pick six, if he knew it was coming, he would just jump up and shout, pick six, and it was screaming from the booth. Well, hey, before we let you go, man, I just wanted to ask, I always like, talk football and all that, but Saturdays for you, what are you doing on Saturdays?
Waking up early, coming to film, and getting good breakfast with the team, talking about the game.
Good breakfast. What does that entail?
They make tacos. They make tacos outside for us, so it's pretty good.
You're not cooking though. You're just showing up eating, huh?
Yeah, I'm just showing up and eating.
Just showing up eating, man. That's the best way to do it. Well, we're excited about you guys this year. I know 0-2 is not the way you want to start, but you got two more. But you're playing really good teams. Let's be honest. You're playing big teams in 3A and Division I. You guys have a great opportunity against a very tough Crockett team, just an hour north. What is that bus trip going to be like for you? You got about an hour. It's a little bit shorter than some of the longer road games. What's going through your head? What are you doing to prep on the bus?
I'm focused on my assignment. I'm praying. I'm making sure God got me and got the team. So that's pretty much what I do, all bus ride.
All right. Well, amen to that, man. Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Ed and I will be on the call, and TD3 going for 3 returned TDs here in a moment. I got messed up at the beginning. For some reason, I was thinking running back. I was thinking of your brother, man, is what was happening. So, and you're not having to play too much both sides, right? You're primarily just hanging on defense now, right?
Yeah, I play I'm on almost every special team, so I'm doing more than the defense.
Awesome. Well, the camera's right there. Who do you want to send a shout-out to this afternoon?
First, I want to give a shout out to God. He the reason I'm in this position that I am right now. Second, to my mom and to my brothers.
Awesome. And then finally, 10 years from now, just like I asked Zane. See, this is why it's the benefit of being the second guy, because you could already kind of think about this.
You're the second here, but you're actually the third, right?
Yeah, I'm third.
Yeah. So what's going through your mind 10 years from now? What do you want to tell yourself as you look right at the camera and you say, hey, what's up, TD3? How you doing? I hope that we did this.
I hope we didn't quit and we just continue to chase our dreams.
All right. Well, there he is. Hey, is there a motto this year for you guys? I haven't heard any chatter about a motto.
No, we haven't came up with one yet.
All right. You got 2 more games to do it before district, all right?
Yes, sir.
So one final time, can we get that woo-woo? All right, there he is, TD3 here with us. Man, appreciate you. Mind me call me TD3, is that all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's a good name.
All right, TD3 with us here. Trey Davis III, great family, and his great brother, too, TD2, man. Just wonderful young men here on this new Waverly Bulldog football team. We'll take one final break. When we come back, Ed and I will talk about what to look forward to coming up tomorrow night as we have the live call starting at 6:30 with pregame on the SHN Sports Broadcast Network right here on YouTube. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. This is the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. All right, back at it here as we wrap up this edition of the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. We covered just about everything. We talked about previous games. We looked ahead to Crockett. We even got the Ed Watto to give us a few of those Bulldog barks, man. When you get Ed Watto to do that, it's all right, Ed?
That's absolutely all right. We're looking forward to Crockett tomorrow night.
Ed, you're going to look back in 10 years and be like, why are you barking on the show, man?
Yeah, it's just it's not probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. I've done plenty more.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed, Ed, your friendship, just getting to know you over these last year and a half, 2 years now, and it's just been a lot of fun for these young men in this community, and we want to continue to lift up and encourage these young men. That's what I love about Coach Schaub. You'll talk to him and says, we're out there on the football field. We want to win, but at the end of the day, it's about improving these young men's lives, and that's. I don't say this in a negative way. It's one thing that I missed about calling high school sports versus big college sports. Big college sports is fun because you get to travel. There's this really cool atmosphere that you're surrounded by. As a broadcaster, you're fed all the information that you need. I mean, there's really no way that you can flub the broadcast unless you just completely mind blank and don't know what you're doing. And it's a fun opportunity. I will tell you, the high school level of broadcasting is so much more challenging. And that's why I'm so thankful to have you, because you've got to go out and dig for the information and research and find out things. But I like it a lot because it's really inspirational. These young men, especially with NIL now, I mean, young people aren't getting paid to go to a high school. Now, some may argue that and say, well, so-and-so moved here to go play here. But we're not going down that train. But it's just so much more exciting for me as a broadcaster to call high school football and basketball and baseball, even at a lower level, like a 3A. And by saying lower level, I'm not discrediting these student athletes.
Yeah, nobody takes it as that. It's just we're a small school.
Yeah, and small communities are so much fun because you get to know the people, you get to know these young student athletes, and you really get to develop a relationship to where you can inspire them. And it's fun, man.
Yeah, well, that's the hope. I mean, we want to have an impact, positively impact these kids' lives, and I'm excited that you have this coaches show in addition to the broadcast, that these kids can go back and watch, and that their families can watch together and see them doing great things. And that's why we try and highlight as many kids as we can. And really, in a year like this where you have a huge second string, talk about those kids, or talk about kids that are just having an impact on special teams.
Ed, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts. As we head in, you've been on two of the calls now, and this will be your third game. It'll be my second of the season for missing last week. But really, where do you see this team as far as this matchup versus Crockett? I think that this team is got a lot of momentum riding behind it, especially even in that loss versus Orangefield. They found a way to fight back there at the end.
The one thing that I was really impressed with was we got the ball back with 1 minute and 9 seconds, and there was just the kids were trying to win the game. Mm-hmm. They were trying to do everything they could. And earlier in the game, they were thinking of, hey, this is third down, so we need to make a stop. They were aware of the down and distance. There was a tenacity to them. There was, no matter what, we're just going to keep coming back. We ran out of time, but the game is 48 minutes. I think there's, ultimately we just need to get each one of the kids, whatever their assignment is, first string, second string, third string, they need to be executing perfectly what they're supposed to do. And if they make a mistake, like we talked about earlier, they just need to go back to positive thoughts. So much of this game is mental. So they need to think about what their strategy is to take on their opponent and think like, hey, you know what, this is probably a running player. Hey, this is a passing situation, and have that. Or it's a third down, third and short or third and long. We did have a couple of nice fourth down stops last week that I'm sure you saw. That is really nice to show resiliency of the kids, and that's some of those things are mental. And so that makes me really proud of them. And I think that's going to really help us down the road. Like Coach was saying, you make a bad play, forget about it. Just start to think about something positive you can do. Crockett is a very good football team. They're probably they're probably the best 0-2 football team in their classification right now.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did, I had some things pulled up earlier. Of course, all that went off the screen a while ago and I had to restart something. But these 2 losses of Crockett, I mean, they have not been monumental losses. They've lost just by a handful of points. If you
1
add up the 2
point
games.
in the one and 4 points in the other one.
So you're talking 5 points in 2 games.
They have scored 67 points this year.
It's not like this team is just out there getting smoked, and that's the thing to go into with the mindset of you got to go in, play your best football. I know that's just coach speak, but that's really what you got to do. You got to go out there with the mentality of, hey, number 1, we can beat these guys, and number 2, let's not allow this game to be close. Let's try to find a way to put points on the board early and often, and that's always, for me, as just a guy on the broadcasting side, is always a takeaway, always a key to a game, if you will, is let's put more points on. Let's get on the board early and put those points on the board before the opponent, and then that way you're not having to play pickup the entire game.
Absolutely, get that lead and then continue to work within that. But you've got to play 48 minutes. You can't have a letdown at any point in the game. You can't let down right before the half. You can't let down right when you come out for the second half. You cannot let down right after they score. You can't let down with excitement after you score and let them return a kickoff for a touchdown. So this is that team that if you relax, they're going to hurt you. Watching their film, I was very impressed with them from an athletic standpoint, from the offensive and defensive line standpoint. Coach Jordan has done a good job. And like I said, they're the best in 3A, 3A D1. They are probably the best team, 0-2 team in the state.
It's going to be a fun one to call. It's the Battle of the Dogs, Bulldogs
The
versus
Battle of the Dogs. And you know what?
Coming up, man.
It's really great. I'm excited about it because we haven't played Crockett since – as long as I can remember. I know New Waverly played in that stadium versus West Rusk back, 4 years, ago. But in a playoff game, beautiful stadium, beautiful facility, turf. And, you should play people that are within it. It's nice to play people that are within 45 minutes to an hour. And, and when that 48 minutes happen, it's a war, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to war. But then at the end of the game, you shake hands and say, because, you probably – there's people that are connected in some way or another to those other people. So then you show respect for each other.
Well, since considering this game is a lot closer than the normal road games, my question to you is, will there be a famous Kevin Edney burger grilling going on at Crockett? I mean, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to that.
The Kevin Edney burger grilling, he should have a food truck. I mean, really.
I want to buy the guy an apron that says that.
Kevin Edney needs a food truck because he does such a phenomenal job.
Wonderful guy, yeah.
A wonderful guy, and I really owe so much of my, connections around New Waverly and Huntsville to a guy around Walker County to a guy like Kevin Edney.
All right, we'll see. We'll let you know. We'll be back next week and we'll talk if the Kevin Edney burger extravaganza has happened. So, well, friends, that'll wrap it up. Always a joy and a privilege to bring you these games here on SHN and this Coaches Show. Big thank you, of course, to all of you for engaging and for sharing and for helping to the internet here, just for being a part of it. That'll wrap it up here on the Bulldog Nation Coaches Show. We'll have live coverage starting tomorrow at 6:30 with the 3 Spoons Yogurt Countdown to Kickoff. All season long, coverage is presented by our friends at Walker County Federal Credit Union. Thanks, Ed. Looking forward to it tomorrow night.
Same here.
See you, friends.